Welcome to the podcast overview of the School Improvement Plan process and template for the 2013-14 school year. We will look at the vision of the school improvement planning and progress related to the process. We will review this year's components for the Pasco template and its inclusion of the 8-step problem-solving framework. This year, schools graded A, B, or C have the option of completing the Florida Department of Education template or the Pasco template presented here. Schools graded D or F will be required by the state to complete the state template. Title I schools have already participated in and completed initial steps, including identification of barriers. All prior work may be applied to this process. On this slide, you're looking at the vision for our school improvement planning. We're not quite there yet, but we are improving the architecture of our current web platform to facilitate the problem-solving process. It still requires the school to download, link to, or gather data from various sources. It doesn't lead the school through the data analysis piece, but assumes that this has already been done. We will be working on embedding guidance within the help feature throughout the SIP, such as guiding questions, and this process will continue to evolve. Eventually, we want to be able to provide the pre-analyzed data in a user-friendly dashboard, which allows drill downs to more specific or background information, and provide questions to ask about the data right within the tool before moving into the target and goal setting and problem solving portion. You will begin to see work in this area in the coming school year. We will also be providing data comparisons at the school, feeder pattern, region, and district level, as well as Title I and non-Title I schools as we move forward. We want a system which will allow us to tag questions throughout the platform for various reports. So rather than pulling the reports together manually, the user could answer all questions within the platform through one planning and problem-solving process, and then click a button to run reports as needed. We want the system to allow us to build a database of strategies and action steps that schools could pull from based on what has worked in other similar schools. This is all possible, but not within our current technology. We also have a lot more research and collaboration to do to pull this off. This district template has been designed to reduce the compliance burden, streamlining wording and formatting, aligning it to the 8-step problem-solving framework, removing elements that were not useful, ensuring all statutory requirements are met, and providing flexibility to the school to decide how many goals and which content areas to focus on. Schools graded A, B, or C will have the option of using the online district template within Pasco Star or the online FLDOE template located on the Bureau of School Improvement website. Schools that select the district template will not submit a paper copy to the department. Rather, the final action plan will be published to a page on the district website. This can also be linked by the school. Schools that use the Florida Department of Education plan will be required to submit a final hard copy of the plan by September 9th. Schools graded D or F will be required by the state to complete the Florida Department of Education template. Goals should align to the district priorities represented by the graphic on the screen. Multi-tiered systems of support provide the framework for our work and database decisions implemented using professional learning communities to determine what students should know and be able to do, how to monitor progress, and to determine what we do when they get it and when they don't get it. This process is used to build capacity and implement a guaranteed and viable curriculum of standards-based instruction in Common Core state standards and next-generation state standards. This curriculum is presented using research-based best instructional practices within our professional growth system. Part 1 of the School Improvement Plan online tool will include basic school information, a link to your school profile, which will contain school data and school advisory council information. It also includes state requirements based on the grade levels of the school, such as every teacher contributes to reading improvement, which is a secondary reading endeavor, preschool transition, and college and career readiness. Part 2 begins our problem ID and problem analysis and includes the data review. Your technical assistance guide provides some suggestions for data sources related to student achievement, such as the Florida Comprehensive Assessment Test, the Florida Alternate Assessment, Learning Gains, 4-year graduate scoring college ready on the PERT, benchmark assessments, FAIR. Other data sources include student engagement, such as surveys, graduation rates, attendance and tardiness, behavior, and then other data sources, which may include PLC scales, the staff and parent responses to the climate survey, parent involvement documents, teacher evaluation data, etc. The above chart shows major areas. Schools will not be required to record actuals, as the link to your data will provide this information. However, schools will set school-wide targets for the instrument that will be used to measure the goal, such as the FCAT, the Florida Alternate Assessment, Learning Gains, EOCs, SELA, or the final benchmark assessments, as applicable within each area. Schools graded A, B, or C will be required to develop a goal for English Language Arts, ELA, and mathematics, as well as subgroups who do not meet the AMO, Annual Measurable Objective Target, for the statewide test or graduation. Other goal areas may be addressed as supported by the school's data, such as STEM, social studies, or attendance. Many times, schools will ask how to identify a target that will generate a statistically significant difference. That is, how can a target be identified that is not too easy, but yet not impossible to achieve? This FASR table can provide assistance. The way that you would use this is by the example shown on the screen. For example, you have 220 students who took the FCAT 2.0 reading. 54% of the students scored at the satisfactory level or higher, with a level 3, 4, or 5. Select the appropriate percentage in the first column to the nearest percentage your students performed. As you can see by the arrow, we have selected 50%. Then select the number in the top set of rows closest to the number of students tested. For this example, we have selected 200. Where the two lines intersect is the appropriate percentage to target for a goal that will make a statistically significant difference, or, in this example, an increase of 10%. Part 3 is plan development and plan implementation using the 8-step problem-solving framework. The 8 steps are shown on the screen. I recommend for those interested in seeing a demonstration using the 8-step problem-solving tool to view the state sample at the website on your screen. This website is also available in your technical assistance document. I also recommend that you refer to the 8-step problem-solving facilitator's guide, which was included with your documents in the email. These documents will also be available as resources from the Pasco Star SIP website once active, which is anticipated to be July 15th. Your final two sections, Part 4 and Part 5, are the professional development and the budget area. You will link these to goals or strategies within your SIP. Professional development is included because of the need to build capacity in order to achieve goals. Budget and resources are included to ensure that the resources are available or can be acquired in order to meet goals. A few SMART goals are what schools will problem solve and create action plans for in the new SIP, whereas in SIPs of the past, you set goals and problem solved for every single data point. This distinction is what helps to bring focus. Schools will be able to tag each goal back to specific targets it will support. Targets are typically measured in one way only, such as the FCAT. Goals may be measured in multiple ways, which can include qualitative and quantitative measures. The website will take you through questions similar to the SIP worksheet provided to you in your email. New this year is a mid-year reflection. Schools will complete a series of yes/no questions for each goal created in the SIP, which will help them to think through if and how strategies should be modified. The purpose is to encourage the use of the SIP as a living document to guide decision-making rather than a compliance activity. The SIP template, once active, can be navigated to within Pasco Star. In addition to the materials referenced in this podcast, schools will also have resources such as the PLC scales and the MTSS rubric. Schools will be required to review and check electronically that each additional state requirement has been addressed within the plan. This is an example of the checklist. This year's timeline is illustrated on the screen. On August 5th, the draft should be complete and ready for feedback in the way of a peer review, which will take place along with the final plan edits between August 5th and September 9th. For this year's peer review, schools may select to work with another school or to work with stakeholders within their own school. This is based on what is best for the school's needs. There is no need to send anything to the district. Schools may use the window to set the review timeline around their individual needs with September 9th as the hard stop for this review. On September 9th, publish the SIP to the website if you are using the Pasco Star template. This can be done electronically within the website, and no paper copies will be required to be sent to the district. If using the DOE template, the school will submit one paper copy to the district's Office for Accountability, Research, and Measurement by September 9th. As a special note, this year, school-wide data will be published to the website as well. September 30th will be the deadline to have SAC membership complete, compliant, and documented within the FileMaker Pro database. October 1st will be board approval of all SIP plans. This slide just provides a simple overview of the SIP and some of the timelines. Note that the middle of the year reflection with the school's Learning Community Executive Director. This year, the vendor for the district will use for the formative assessment process, which includes our benchmark assessments, will change from Core K-12. At the secondary level, it will be Discovery Education. And at the elementary level, we are finalizing the selection and will be able to provide that information to you in the near future. Draft dates have been provided to you on your timeline. SIP clinics are available for those who would like face-to-face assistance with the SIP process. Please RSVP by contacting Joyce Grandy at extension 42343. And if you come, please bring your laptop. This concludes the overview for the SIP process for the 2013-14 school year. If you have questions or comments, please contact the Office for Accountability, Research, and Measurement at 42343.